everyone. This is Dr. Tejavati Nagraj, Professor and Head, Department of Oral Medicine and Radiology from Rajiv Gandhi College of Dental Sciences, Bangalore. This class is for third and final year BDS. Today I'll be introducing you to the physics of ionizing radiation and production of X-rays. When I talk of radiation or radiology can be used for two things. Whenever you use the radiation or the X-rays, you call it as radiodiagnosis. When you use it for diagnosis, you call it as radiodiagnosis. When you use the X-rays for therapy, it is called as radiotherapy. Just remember, when the X-rays are used for diagnostic purposes, it is called as radiodiagnosis. And when X-rays are used for therapy, you call it as radiotherapy. Coming to the history of radiology, it was in the time of 1895. Dr. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, he was a physicist. Along with other professors, they were all conducting experiments using vacuum tubes. It was Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, along with many other scientists and professors of his time, was experimenting with vacuum tubes. On 8th of November 1895, he produced with one of these tubes an invisible ray that was capable of penetrating substances opaque to light. He asked his wife Bertha Röntgen to keep a hand in between this ray and the wall. For his surprise, he was able to see the image of the hand on the wall. So he came to know if this was true, if this ray could pass on the opaque substances, this can be used for the body as well. And further experiments proved that these rays blackened the emulsion of photographic film also. Röntgen found that these rays penetrated many substances and shadow or image of such substances could be recorded on the photographic plate. This was true with human body as well, and the images of various body tissues could be recorded on the film. Unable to define the exact nature of this radiation, he named it as X-ray. So I repeat it again. On 8th of November 1895, Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen found out the X-rays. These rays are able to penetrate substances opaque to light, and the images of such substances can be recorded on the photographic film. Next, coming to physics of ionizing radiation. What is radiation physics? Just the basics I'll be talking about. Ionization is the process of converting atoms to ions. Coming to nature of radiation. Radiation is the transmission of energy through space and matter. There are two types of radiation, particulate radiation and electromagnetic radiation. Particulate radiation consists of subatomic particles moving at high velocity. Particulate radiation consists of subatomic particles moving at high velocity. Examples of particulate radiation are alpha rays, beta rays, and cathode rays. Next is the electromagnetic radiation. It is a movement of energy through space as a combination of electric and magnetic field. Electromagnetic radiation is the movement of energy through space as a combination of electric and magnetic fields. It is generated when the velocity of an electrically charged particles are altered. I repeat again. Electromagnetic radiation is the movement of energy through space as a combination of electric and magnetic fields. It is generated when the velocity of an electrically charged particles are altered. Examples of electromagnetic radiation are gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible light, infrared radiation, radar waves, microwaves, and radio waves. All these are the examples of electromagnetic radiation. So this can be asked in your 2 marks question. We can ask you in Viva. Electromagnetic radiation and particulate radiation. Next, coming to properties of X-rays. X-rays have certain properties. These are X-rays travel in space in wave motion. They travel in straight line in free space. Speed of X-rays is equal to that of natural light. X-rays cannot be reflected, refracted, or deflected. They do not have mass or weight. They can produce fluorescence. They can penetrate matter. They can produce ionization. They can damage biologic tissues. They are invisible. I repeat again, properties of X-rays. They travel in space in wave motion. X-rays travel in straight line in free space. Speed of X-rays is equal to that of natural light. X-rays cannot be reflected, refracted or deflected. They do not have mass or weight. They can produce fluorescence. They can penetrate matter. They can produce ionization. They can damage biologic tissues. They are invisible. Just remember, because they damage the biologic tissues, one of the properties of X-rays is they damage the biologic tissues. Whenever you take the radiographs, it could be an intraoral radiograph, it could be an extraoral radiograph, any radiograph, think twice before subjecting the patient to X-rays because they can damage the biologic tissues. Next, depending on the penetrating power. First one I told you, particulate radiation and electromagnetic radiation from source from where it is coming. Next is depending on the penetration power, we have primary radiation and secondary radiation. What is primary radiation? Primary radiation has short wavelength and high penetrating power. It directly comes from the X-ray machine and is useful to produce the image of the object. Primary radiation, it comes directly from the X-ray machine and it is useful to produce the image of the object. Second one is the secondary radiation. It's also called as the scattered radiation. Scattered radiation has long wavelength and low penetrating power. This is absorbed by the tissues and it can cause only fogging effect on the film. Secondary radiation, it's also called as scattered radiation. It's of no use. It's also called as the scattered radiation, I told you. It is absorbed by the tissues and it just scatters in all directions. And it can cause only fogging effect on the film. So depending on the penetration power, we have primary radiation and secondary radiation. Coming next to the principles of X-ray generation, how X-rays are produced. The generation of X-rays is a function of two phenomena. The first is a result of disturbing the electrical neutrality of the atom, and the second involves the electrostatic attraction between two bodies of opposite electrical charges. I am talking about the principles of X-ray generations, how X-ray is generated. Basically, it is the function of two phenomena. The first is the result of disturbing the electrical neutrality of the atom, and the second involves the electrostatic attraction between two bodies of opposite electrical charges. Coming to production of X-rays, X-rays are produced basically by two methods. One is the characteristic radiation and the other is the Bremsstrahlung radiation. Production of X-rays are by characteristic radiation and Bremsstrahlung radiation. Coming to the first one, the characteristic radiation. X-rays are generated when electrons traveling at high rates of speed strike matter, which is made up of atoms. As a highly accelerated electron moves into an atom, which is mostly space, it may by chance strike an inner orbital electron with sufficient impact to knock the electron to a place in an outer orbit. The atom becomes excited, or to remove the electron from its orbit, the atom is ionized. If the excited atom is to return to its original state, the electron removed from the orbit must return to its original position. In doing so, the atom liberates electromagnetic energy or an X-ray photon that is characteristic of that atom. If the atom is ionized, the missing electron creates an orbital vacancy which is filled by an outer orbital electron. This replacement process becomes a chain-like reaction until the atom is restored to its original equilibrium. As an outer orbital electron moves into an inner orbit to fill the vacancy, it also liberates electromagnetic energy or X-ray photon that is characteristic of the atom. Excitation of the atom is considered a minor disturbance, whereas ionization is a major interaction. The X-ray photons generated by the excited and ionized atoms returning to their electrically neutral state are known as characteristic radiation. So, in the production of X-rays, the first one is the characteristic radiation. So, whenever the atoms, they move from one orbit to another, electrons move from one orbit to another, whenever they move from one orbit to another, they create an orbital vacancy. In doing so, the orbital vacancy has to be filled by another electron. Whenever they keep moving from one orbit to another, they liberate certain amount of electromagnetic radiation or X-ray photon that is characteristic of that atom. This is known as characteristic radiation. This is the first form in which X-rays are generated. That is the characteristic radiation. This is the diagram of the characteristic radiation. There's production of characteristic radiation. An incident electron, that's a picture A, ejects an electron from the inner orbital creating a photoelectron, a recoil electron and an electron vacancy. That's your B. C is an electron from an outer orbit fills this vacancy and a photon is emitted with energy equal to the difference in energy levels between the two orbitals. D is electrons from various orbitals may be involved giving rise to other characteristic photons. The energies of the photons released are characteristic of the target atom. This is the characteristic radiation. Next, coming to the Bremsstrahlung radiation. This is the second manner in which X-rays are produced. This also involves a high-speed electron entering the regional confines of an atom. In this interaction, the electron penetrates the shells of the orbiting electron and passes very near the nucleus. The nucleus, carrying a very strong positive charge, tends to pull the negative electron to it. Because of the high speed imparted to the entering electron, however, the nucleus is able to cause only a deceleration or a braking action to the electron. The second manner in which the X-rays are produced is the Bremsstrahlung radiation. This also is produced which involves a high speed electron entering the regional confines of an atom. In this interaction, the electron penetrates the shells of the orbiting electrons and passes very near the nucleus. The nucleus has a strong positive charge. It tends to pull the negative electron to it. As you know, like poles repel and unlike poles attract. Because of the high speed imparted to the entering electron, however, the nucleus is able to cause only a deceleration action or a braking action on the electron. That is, it reduces the speed of the entering electron. The electron, giving up some of its kinetic energy, liberates electromagnetic radiation or X-ray photon. Although a rare occurrence, the electron may actually be pulled into the nucleus and stopped, giving up all its kinetic energy and liberating a high energy X-ray photon. Because of the braking action applied to the high-speed electron, the word Bremsstrahlung is used to designate these X-rays. Brems in German means break and Strahlung is radiation. Most of the X-rays used in dentistry are of this type. I told you, no, the second manner in which the X-rays are produced is the Bremsstrahlung radiation. The negatively charged electrons are pulled towards a positively charged nucleus. When they are doing so, their speed is reduced, and in doing so, they liberate certain amount of electromagnetic radiation. Again, although a rare occurrence, the negatively charged electron may be pulled towards the positively charged nucleus, wherein it gives up all its kinetic energy, liberating high energy X-ray photons. Because of the braking action applied to the high-speed electron, the word Bremsstrahlung is used to designate these X-rays. Brems in German means break and Strahlung means radiation. Most of the X-rays used in dentistry are of this type. Next, I'll be talking about the production of X-rays with the X-ray machine. I told you, compared to your characteristic radiation and the Bremsstrahlung radiation, we make use of the Bremsstrahlung radiation for production of X-rays in dentistry. This is the Bremsstrahlung radiation is produced by the direct hit of the electron on a nucleus in the target. Incident high energy electron, this is the nucleus. Direct hit interaction, it liberates electromagnetic radiation. Or much more frequently by the passage of an electron near the nucleus, which results in an electrons being deflected and decelerated. This is, for the sake of clarity, this diagram and other similar figures in this chapter show only the first, second and third orbits, that's all. That is, this is the Bremsstrahlung radiation. The negatively charged electron will be pulled towards a positively charged nucleus where it gives up all its kinetic energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation, which is the Bremsstrahlung radiation. Most of the X-rays we used in dentistry are of Bremsstrahlung radiation. This is it. Spectrum of photons emitted from an X-ray machine operated at 70 kilovolt potential. This is the Bremsstrahlung radiation and the characteristic radiation. Thank you.